In the visitor centre, the exhibits explain the whole life story of the breakaway of Zealandia from Gondwana land millions and millions of years ago. And with the movement of Zealandia away from Australia, how that was like a raft and carried species of flora and fauna away. They then evolved. There were some new introductions, but basically they evolved and the New Zealand flora and fauna became unique.
And that's the whole point of this whole new visitor centre. That complements what's going on in the valley extremely well because it tells the story and then sets people up for a walk in the valley to sort of experience it in reality.
It's beautiful. It's definitely worth doing if you've never come out here before. Yeah.
It was great. We all of us just going for little walks, just being out in the nature, just stalking the birds quietly, just going out and having a look. It was quite neat, you know. I mean, for the kids, they haven't seen it, so it's a great experience.
I think the exhibition is absolutely brilliant.
Yes, so
200 out of 100. We arrived here at 11:30 this morning and we could still be here till midnight tonight. Easily.
Yeah.
It's an experience that for 60,000 visitors every year leaves a lasting impression and for some inspires a longer-term commitment. Donna Chin is one of 450 Wellingtonians who, under Nancy's leadership, keep the wheels of this multi-dimensional operation turning.
I'm learning every time I come. I learn something new. They always give me a bit more information, a bit more tidbits about, you know, either the rata trees or, you know, we saw a sighting of a falcon and, you know, this is what it does, this is what the silhouette does. And so every time I come here, I actually learn a bit more.
Volunteers aren't the only ones who use Zealandia as a place to learn. From top-level scholars conducting original research to the conservation enthusiasts of tomorrow, Nancy has ensured the sanctuary is in constant use for education.
We do run what we call Learning Outside the Classroom program, and so kids come in here. We have about 6,000 students come here every year, and so it is quite a complex, large organisation. It's not for the faint-hearted, to balance all those challenges, but it's exciting as well.
Responsible for a dozen threatened species, hundreds of acres, thousands of school kids, a growing staff, volunteers, millions of dollars, and a vision spanning 5 centuries, Nancy is a woman constantly on the move.
Well, welcome to our office. This is it. This is where the engine room is. Our marketing people is over there. Our administration people is here. I'm lucky enough to get a little office, but it's also a meeting room. And there are much more, many more staff around the place in the main room.
People think, oh, my goodness me, you've got a good place to work and you can go out and go for a stroll. But primarily 5 days a week is very much in the office. The other 2 days I do manage to get out, so we come in here for a walk, and that's when I check that the Century Valley and the exhibition, everything is hunky-dory from a visitor perspective.
That one's good.
Born and raised in Hong Kong, educated in England and based in New Zealand for 34 years, Nancy has been involved in the sanctuary from the beginning. First as a board member, bringing much-needed financial know-how, then for the last 7 years as chief executive, the hands-on kind.
Because a lot of people still get confused. Okay, right. Zealandia Karori Century Experience, can I help you?
Nancy's full of energy and passionate about the sanctuary.
She's courageous. She's prepared to make the hard calls when she has to. And yet she can be very good fun at another level, so I really enjoy working with her. She's not a CEO who's going to sit behind the desk and just do the paperwork. She gets her hands grubby. She's up in the valley working as a volunteer, doing carcass surveys, so she really gets to understand what it's like up there as well and loves that side of things.
She is always professional. She's always well briefed. She knows everything.
And I don't think there's been a time when we've thrown an issue or question at her that she's not been able to answer adequately and well. She passionately believes in the sanctuary, she passionately believes in the sustainability of it. She doesn't want to keep coming back with a hat out wanting more funding. She believes that the visitor centre is going to make this the visitor attraction for not just Wellington but for New Zealand in terms of an urban sanctuary, and we agree with her.
It's that kind of support from the top and from all corners of the community that Nancy hopes will ensure this urban wildlife sanctuary has a long and prosperous future for 500 years to come.